That might have got cut off, I don't know. I do find I'm getting this finished tonight. I've got a bit of time before I desperately need to go to bed, so let's just get this done with. I feel like I sigh an awful lot when I'm streaming. Clearly, if ever I try and do this more frequently, that's a habit I need to break. If I remember correctly, my favourite dragon is in this game, this level. It's not the dragon itself that makes it my favourite, it's Spyro's response to it. So the levels in Nasty's world are all pretty straightforward. I say all, there's only 2 levels, and then the boss fight, and then the bonus level. So 100%ing it up to this point.
Keep up the good work, Spyro. I expect Nasty's really starting to worry about you.
I'd be shaking in my Nork boots if I were him.
This whole world is fairly linear. It's kind of weird how the level design does kind of operate in a few different modes in this game. There's some levels like Treetops that just are very open to player interpretation in terms of how you navigate it, and then other levels such as this one that are just pretty much a straightforward run. When you really stop and stare at the level design as well, it's really not clear how much industrialization is taking place in the Spyro game as a whole. Of course, Spyro 2 really muddies the water with that one where you've got literal, like, cavemen in the certain levels.
Wow! I never thought I'd be rescued, Especially by such a little dragon. What I mean is, I always believed in you, Spyro.
You gotta believe.
That's the best dragon in the game. If ever I get around to buying a Stream Deck, I will probably clip that and make that a soundboard trigger. On a semi-related note, I'm still trying to weigh up whether to get a Steam Deck. Part of my reasoning is it'll make for a good replacement for my Steam Link in my living room. Which works fine, but obviously I don't know what level of support Valve are still running that thing with nowadays. And it's also hampered by the fact that it can only operate at 1080p. Oh god, I'm gonna screw this up, aren't I? Because the right-hand tunnel takes you to the level exit. One of these tunnels... Okay, it's this one, that's fine. I was gonna say, one of these tunnels has a key. And the other tunnel has a locked chest in it. So you really want to do these in the right order. I don't know why that doesn't explode. I can't remember whether it's this game or Spyro 2, where I'm pretty sure the lock boxes are susceptible to break by any stronger attack, like a super flame or whatever, so you might be able to get in that without the key anyway, just by using that barrel. Not sure. Yeah, my biggest argument against the Steam Link is just the reality of I'm still actually getting quite a lot of use out of my Switch, so I'm not sure what it's what need it's going to fill being a portable thing. Like, I'm sure I'd find use for it, no doubt, but it's just... I don't necessarily know... What is there that I'm wanting to play while in a portable mode that I can't currently play with what I own? I guess the other problem I've got is no which model to get. I'd be a bit wary to get one that's only got 64 gigs of storage, because if you wanted to play any modern PC game on there, which admittedly is going to be dubious because of the specs on that thing, but on paper, if you want to play any modern PC game on there, 64 gigs is a really tight storage requirement. This is the level I mentioned earlier, that all the enemies are wielding realistic weapons in terms of machine guns and grenades. I can't remember whether they did what they did with the grenades in Reignited, but all of the guns got replaced with like goo guns. Why did that guy just disappear? Obviously I hit him, but he disappeared a few frames even before I hit him. Part of me suspected that the goo gun change was something that was like mandated from Activision, but the way it's framed in the art book is that it was a decision that the development team at Toys for Bobs themselves made. I don't know, it doesn't bother me too much. There's an aspect of it that just feels a bit like change for the sake of change, but it's not the worst.
Be on the lookout for Nort Commandos, Spyro.
They better be on the lookout for me.
I forget whether there's anything you want to carry a supercharge into the upper area for besides just getting up there, because obviously you have to carry that one down here to get that chest. So I think in the speedruns, do they do both? I can't remember. Or are they able to do everything they need to in one supercharge? I'm not sure. Whatever, we're doing it with two because we're basic. We're basic. We got too much time. So if I did need to carry a supercharge through there, I'm going to have to redo it anyway. Again, is there stuff around the outside of this? I am just creating work for myself. Well, I was right that there was something around the outside of it, just not something I actually needed. I always forget that Spyro has a roll mode in this game. I don't know if that carries over into later games. The problem is it's borderline useless. Maybe it helps with like the odd one or two enemies that I'm not great at dodging, like these machine gunners and those frogs they're putting out in the earlier level. But I doubt it. It's a strange move. It's like it got put into the game without much consideration for how it would be used. That's right. We're not pushing on into that without sparks. In reality, they shouldn't be too much of a threat, but that's not a risk I'm willing to take. With the threat of a death lingering over my head. Might as well top up sparks before we go in. Although, yeah, they really did not know how to design boss fights for this game, it seems, because you don't really fight Nasty Nork, which kind of leans into Nasty Nork's personality, especially as of the Reignited trilogy, in that he does seem a bit cowardly. But it does seem like a bit of an anticlimax on the player's point of view, that you spent this entire game trying to chase after Nasty Nork and he barely actually fights you. I'm probably gonna end up running a circuit of the first Thief's run again, just to be safe. To be honest, if I do miss a gem there, that's not the worst place in the world to have missed one. In terms of like having to revisit the level, I mean. And it's usually best to make Nasty run off before you collect these, just because otherwise he keeps firing shots down at you, and it's just easier to collect these once he's moved on, waiting for you for the next phase, than it is to faff about dodging his shots. Okay, I think we're good. That side. Yeah, we're good, I think. Right, phase 2. Which is just keep pace with him well enough to have him not just restart the whole lap at the other end, so you get a chance to flame him. Of course, if you're going for the gems, unless you get very lucky or you've got a very tight route down as a speedrun or whatever, you're not going to be able to get everything on the first lap, especially when there's shit like this on the course. I forget how many gems he drops when he dies, but it's a multiple of 25. 100. I was going to say there are definitely no gems actually just in the level in this last area. Right, and this bit's slightly tough because you've got to move quickly before these platforms recede. That's nasty, though.
Sorry I took so long. I kind of forgot about you.
What about Ganasty Gnork?
Nasty Nork is toast.
So now there's order again in the Dragon Kingdom?
Well, mostly. I've still got some treasure to pick up.
What will you do next?
I'd say the sky's the limit.
Can I skip these credits? I don't appear to be able to skip the credits. Oh well. We shall be saying this twice, because all we're missing now to get into the bonus level is one dragon, and that one dragon will be right in front of us when we're exploring Nasty's world. I've only just thought about it. Maybe I shouldn't have been playing Spyro because of the whole sexual assault allegations of Insomniac at the minute. However, this game's over 20 years old. I don't think it's necessarily a problem. For a second there, I thought manual approval was like... I thought it was Manuel approval, like a Spanish guy. Because it was saying Computer into Europe, Entertainment Europe. I don't think I ever acknowledged that Clancy Brown does some of the dragon voices, because he's also Neocortex, right? I also never really realised that Spyro's voice actor changed between this game and Spyro 2, if I remember right. I need to look into this. I've never understood why Spyro 2 got a different subtitle in Europe than it did in the States. Because in the States it was Ripto's Rage, I believe, whereas over here they call it Gateway to Glimmer. Which Gateway to Glimmer kind of made sense in its own way, in that is... in the opening cutscene, that is where Spyro effectively comes out into Avalarin, but Glimmer is such a non-entity over the course of that game. It is literally just the tutorial level.
Nasty's ancient history now. So, what's in there?
I believe this is Nasty's treasure hoard. But the gate will not open until you have found everything in the Dragon Kingdom. Come back when you have reached 100%.
Now, one thing I've never checked, because that was the only thing I had left to do to get 100%, was touch that dragon, so that's why it's immediately opened. Does that dragon's dialogue change now that I've got 100%, or do you just say the same thing again?
Nasty's ancient history now. So, what's in there?
I believe this is Nasty's treasure hoard. But the gate will not open until you have found everything in the Dragon Kingdom. Come back when you have reached 100%.
Okay, so clearly the dialogue doesn't change. Because I'll probably check it before I end the stream, but the dialogue for the dragon that's outside Toasty at the beginning of the game, when I first touched him on this playthrough, he told me, oh, you can't come in here because you need to clear one of the levels first. I'm pretty sure his dialogue changes once you've cleared a level. Right, so anyone who's not familiar with this level is kind of the bonus level of the game. And the gimmick is that you have permanent flight enabled, like in the flight stages, but your height is capped according to the highest ground platform you've reached. So if I jump and start flying, I can't get any more height than that. I'm holding down, back to lift up, and that's the cap on height I've got right now. So the puzzle is to open up gates such as that then contain ways of getting to higher parts of the level, and therefore fly to higher elevations. With the level exit being at the highest level, but as you might imagine, exiting the level is not really the goal so much as collecting everything in it. Which arguably has been the goal of all the levels, but as we've established, there's plenty of stuff that I have done that was not necessary to do if you just wanted to get to Nasty Nork and finish the game. Whereas if you've gotten this far, you've already collected everything, you're probably going to be expected to collect everything here as well. I know in the speedruns there is a fast trap for getting that guy kind of as soon as he sets off, but as you saw, he starts his loop with a massive amount of speed for some reason. I've always thought this one's kind of a pain in the ass to catch up to as well. I say, before immediately catching up on him. Is this the highest level? Yeah, that's the highest level. So now it's just a case of mopping up. Which is always rather satisfying. They did make the room into more of a man cave and reignited, rather than just a ring with Nasty's picture in it. And there we go. What's that put us at? 120%.
Spyro the Dragon, you've defeated Ganasty Gnorc, collected the dragon eggs, saved all the dragons, and recovered every bit of treasure in the Dragon Kingdom. How do you feel?
I feel fired up, Bob. And I'm happy for the dragon world, of course. I certainly wouldn't want to spend the rest of my dragon days butting heads with Nasty Nork and his weird minions.
What's a minion?
Never mind. You know what they say. For every good battle, you need a good adversary. And I felt that Nasty, in spite of his misguided nature, was a worthy opponent. Uh-oh. Here we go again.
I'm pretty sure I saw some YouTube video trying to claim that that ending implied that this game exists in some kind of time loop, rather than it just being a stupid joke at the end of the closing cutscene. I mean, I'm pretty sure when Patrick Klepek was looking into the background on Ratchet and Clank's kind of universe development over the course of that series, part of what they discussed there was that Insomniac didn't even really have anyone on staff whose kind of job it was to work on the story specifically until partway through the Ratchet and Clank franchise operating. So probably all the dialogue and stuff in this game was just stuff they came up with because they needed something to put in the game, with no particular strong forethought to it. Which does come across in the sheer number of dragons who just say thank you for releasing me. I mean, that's not to put them down. This is, by all accounts, a children's game. It's not exactly calling out for a deep, rich plot. But I'm trying to think how many games there might be nowadays that still operate that way. Because Crash 4 certainly had a lot more care put into its story design than the original trilogy. As well as its cutscene animation, actually. For all the misgivings I had with Crash 4, the cutscenes did genuinely look really good. I guess the Mario titles are still pretty plot-light. I think the closest we got to having a deep plot was Mario Galaxy, and then that all just got thrown out the window when Galaxy 2 came along, because I'm pretty sure that was legitimately, like, directly mandated by Miyamoto of just, yeah, I don't want to have, like, deep plots in Mario to do with resetting the fucking universe. Right, so a couple of things I wanted to check. First of all, did this guy's dialogue update? If I can even get on the platform.
Cool Flash, do that again.
The artisan's boss is through a portal behind me. You can challenge him now, if you feel you are ready.
So that's a yes. That guy's dialogue did update. The other thing I want to check, did the... It's probably not going to do it because I've already got the gate open, but did the visual indicator for these enable? Yeah, that's not doing it. I probably can't have checked that, wouldn't have been able to check that unless I didn't open that until... So what I vaguely remember is the dragon in Wizard Peak that tells you to come here and jump on the stepping stones. After you get that dialogue, each of these light up yellow when you jump on them to give you a hint of what you're meant to do. But when you jump on these before you've had that dialogue, it doesn't do it, but it still counts in the back end, which is how you can open it from the start of the game. But you need to just know that's something to do at the start of the game if you want to do it that early on. Otherwise, once you get told about it in game, it does give you the visual indicator. But right, well, I guess we'll call it a day. maybe I'll pick up Spyro 2 at some point. I don't know. There's a good chance that I'm not going to be able to stream again for the best part of 2 weeks. So we shall see how it turns out.